All right, hi, welcome to our second Pride Safety class. We are PACS, Personal and Community Safety, and this is the second of a three-part series really targeted towards the LGBTQ community and developed and taught by the LGBTQ community and people who love them. If you missed the first class, no big deal. We have it on our YouTube channel. You can find that at PACS, P-A-C-S, Personal and Community Safety. So you can go ahead and look that up. I'm going to do a little brief review of some things we talked about, but there's a lot more really great information, so strongly encourage you to check that out. So a few reminders before we get going. This class should feel safe and fun. Take care of yourself, take care of your partner if you're working with a partner while you're practicing some of the techniques we're going to go over. You deserve to be safe, and you deserve to be your authentic self in the world and present any way you want. And if somebody hurts you or attacks you, it's never your fault. The goal of self-defense is to stay safe. And I always say, it seems like a silly thing to say, but we spend a lot of time watching movies or playing video games, and we kind of get the idea that we're going to, fight back and attack this person and really, make them regret their life choices. But that interaction doesn't always keep us safe, and we have a greater likelihood of getting hurt if we do something like that. So, goal is to stay safe and get out of a dangerous situation with the least amount of physical, mental, emotional harm. And practice all of these techniques, right? And you can always go back to the recorded videos and go through them again with us, right? And watch them in more detail and practice them when you have an opportunity, because the more you can include this as a daily or even a few times a week practice, the better off you're going to be if you're ever in a situation where you've got to react quickly. Okay, so our quick review of some of the things we covered last week, which again, lots more detail in the first video, but we talked about the 5 different stress responses, the 5 Fs: fight, flight, freeze, flop, and fawn. And I hope over this past week you had a chance to kind of notice what did you tend towards or how did you respond in certain situations. So hopefully keep working on that and keep thinking about that as you go through your life. The other thing we talked about was how to ask for help, right? Not something that most of us are really comfortable with, but our quick and easy way to do it: 1, 2, 3. So you pick one person in the area, a bystander, and you make eye contact with 2 eyes, and in 3 words or less, you're going to give them clear instructions, clear and succinct instructions, right? 3 words or less. So get help, call 911 if that's a safe option for you. Start filming, whatever it is, right? Come up with something, plan ahead, think about what you would ask for. So 1, 2, 3, how to ask for help. And then another thing we talked about was the idea of clarity being kindness. So if we're communicating clear boundaries and clear expectations of what we want somebody else to do if they're threatening us, that's a kindness to us, obviously, but it's really a kindness to them, because if there's a chance that this person, of course there's a chance this person may not respect our boundaries, but we have given them the opportunity, and that was kind to them. We gave them the opportunity, and now if they're going to continue to escalate things, we will respond. But clarity is kindness. Okay, we're going to keep moving on. So I'm going to do just a little bit of breathing. We talked a lot about breathing in our first class, so really recommend you watch that because it's so important. But just to really briefly go over a few key points again, the idea here is that we're breathing for peak performance. And what does peak performance look like in a self-defense situation? It looks like you can tap into that kind of calmer, more open-headed state, and that you can quickly get into a kind of a state of flow and where you're reacting, right? Because honestly, if somebody's hitting us or punching us, we need to react quickly. We don't even have time to be thinking about what should I do? Should I move out of the way or whatever? This peak performance allows us to just really tap into all of the physical activities that we've been practicing, the techniques we've been practicing, and being able to automatically have our bodies respond in that way, right? So that's the idea. We talked a little bit about different words people use or, motions that they use. Matthew talked about a heel tap. Susan talked about a little nod of her head. So you can incorporate those, or a word, spaghetti, one, piece, whatever you want, into your breathing. And so that you can just use one of those techniques, the word that you've associated, and it'll help draw you immediately into that space. But it only works if you practice it. So we're going to do a very excitingly called up-down breathing today. And we're going to just start here, good posture, hands at our sides, and we're going to make loose fists, and we're going to breathe in, kind of go up on our tippy toes a little bit, stretch out, and then breathing out. And Susan talked about last time how when she comes down doing this motion, sort of scanning at each level, where is there stress in my body? Am I tight? And just loosening that up specifically, like put your mind to it. So we're just going to do 2 more of these. Excellent. Okay, so I want to talk about the difference between self-protection and self-defense. So here at PAX, we think of self-defense as that moment where an altercation is happening. There's a confrontation, somebody's grabbed you, you need to respond right away, right? That's the self-defense moment. But self-protection is a much bigger idea. So it begins well before any altercation has taken place, with all the things you're making decisions about ahead of time and just where you end up in your life. And then it also includes a resolution component. So we're going to talk about all of that today. One of the first things that we think about is situational awareness, right? What's happening in our surroundings. So I don't want to, none of this is all to help you think proactively about self-protection so that you can make the best decisions for you. This is not intended to make you paranoid. This is not intended for you to just, well, I might as well just stay home because there's no point in going anywhere, something bad could happen, right? Like, that's not what we're looking for. The way I kind of think about it as I move through the world, those of us who are drivers can think about it like, I'm paying attention, right? I'm looking up, I'm looking out, I'm aware. I don't think every car is trying to hit me. I don't think every dog that's being walked is going to jump out into the street, or a little kid's going to jump out in the street, but I'm aware that it could happen. So I'm paying attention, but I'm not paranoid, right? That's the level of sort of awareness I'm thinking that we should try to have as we move through the world. So, okay, so as we're assessing our surroundings, here are some of the things to be thinking about and looking for. Where are the exits, right? What's the sound like? Is it really noisy? Am I in a concert and I can't hear anything? Or do I have an earbud in? I would recommend just 1, because 2, it makes it harder to hear if somebody's sneaking up behind you. What is their cell service, right? Are there other people around? Is there some place where somebody could hide? Lighting, is it dark, right? Is it light out? Those kind of things. So I'm gonna, and sometimes we assume like, oh, the dark alley, late at night, that's the most unsafe place to be, but really bad things can happen anywhere at any time. So a story about my daughter, who is an adult. She was walking her dog. She lives in Southern California. It was a mid-afternoon, bright sunny day, and she was, there's a major street not far from her apartment, 2 lanes each way, so she was on one side of the street. Again, lots of cars going by. She was in kind of a parking lot area. Not a lot of cars parked there, but there were some people kind of walking around, lots of people milling around. So what happens is she's walking her dog and she sees a man kind of walking towards her, and it looks like at some point he's going to come past her. And she is worried about her dog because this is not long after COVID, and the dog is still pretty young, hasn't been well socialized, is very aggressive towards particularly men, right? A lot of barking and kind of pulling at the leash. So my daughter turns and is trying to calm her dog down. Again, bright sunny day, lots and lots of people around. The man does start to pass her, but ends up grabbing her back. So she has a bag over her shoulder, grabs the bag and is trying to yank it off of her shoulder. So bad things can happen anywhere. So in retrospect, it would have been great if she had been looking up and looking out at him. He probably wouldn't have tried to do something. That's not what happened. My daughter, thankfully, has a lot of years of martial arts experience. She has a black belt. She was able to give him a look that really expressed to him in no uncertain terms that he needed to let go and move on with his life, which is what happened. She freaked out afterwards, but in the moment, she had that peak performance of just automatically having this response. So that was fantastic. Although ideally, it wouldn't have happened even in the first place. If he had still persisted in trying to grab her bag, she probably would have let go, right? Because her person is more valuable than whatever is in her bag, and it's more important to keep your person safe than to avoid having somebody mug you or steal from you, right? At the end of the day. But thankfully, it all's well, it ends well. So, what can make us a target in particular? So a couple things I want to talk about. Number one, there are things that we can control and there are things that we can't control, right? So things that we can control are looking up, assessing a situation, being aware, not being on our phone all the time, looking confident, having other people with us. These are kind of things that can kind of help protect us, and there are things that we can choose. There are things we can't choose, right? We can't choose the color of our skin. We can't choose if we're neurodivergent. We can't choose if we're queer or trans, right? Those things just are, and they do make us targets, unfortunately. So it's interesting also to keep in mind that people who might try to harm you, right? We know hate crimes are up, particularly for the LGBTQ+ community. We know that those are more likely to be a stranger, right? And you are also potentially can be harmed by somebody that you know, and that in a sexual assault situation, for example, people are more likely to know the attacker, and that could be an intimate partner, it could be a family member, an acquaintance, whatever. So just the idea of this is just, again, be aware, and so you're moving through the world with this awareness. And I think, just to make a point about if it's somebody you know, sometimes we tend to give those people a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, like, we assume good intention, right? And most of the time our friends and family members hopefully do have good intentions, but it's still wise to be aware and looking at some indicators, their behavior. So what are those indicators, right? We're gonna talk about that. Lots of different things can give us a clue that somebody might want to harm us. So those things could be, well, let's talk about personal space. We talked about it a little bit in the first class, and I didn't specify, although I think it's important to make the distinction that this amount of personal space is something that we're pretty comfortable with in the United States, but different cultures have different comfort levels, right? In some cultures, being much closer physically together is very normal. That person invading your space is not necessarily an indicator. Doesn't mean you don't want to still have your space, but they're not trying to harm you, right? People who have neurodivergent situations also, maybe they have a different comfort level with space too. So again, this is not a person who's trying to harm you. It's just somebody who has a different comfort level. But if you're in a situation where somebody is in your personal space and there's no reason to think that they should be for other reasons, especially if you've taken a step back and they're following you, right? Or let's say they're in your blind spot here, they're right outside your vision, and again, you go to correct and they also move, that can definitely be an indicator. A fixation on you, somebody who's kind of focused on you, even if other things are happening, somebody who's stalking you, somebody who's using belittling behavior, right? So somebody who's maybe questioning your sexuality or dead naming you or misgendering you, especially if they're doing those things on purpose, right? That can definitely be an indicator. Verbal threats, right? Somebody telling you that they're gonna harm you. That's definitely an indicator. Physical aggression that hasn't turned into actually physically touching you, but things like posturing, sudden moves, blocking your exit, punching a wall, or maybe knocking a glass off the table. Those things are all physically aggressive and can let you know that somebody might want to harm you. One of these things by themselves, maybe you can, okay, that's probably not somebody trying to harm me. But if you've got a few, then yeah, it can be definitely time to start thinking about what am I going to do next, and maybe making a plan. And I would say trust your gut, right? Even if it's just one thing, if you've got a gut feeling that something's off, I would trust that, right? And a gut feeling is a little bit different than just the feeling of general anxiety. That tends to be more in the head. Your head's kind of thinking all these thoughts. but a gut feeling is more in your body. So if you've got a gut feeling, I would definitely listen to that and take the opportunity to assess the situation, make a decision. Is it time to go? If you can't go, what are you going to do? Make a plan. So Laura's going to be talking about how to prepare. Jeremiah's going to go over how to de-escalate. Super important. So those two things together are going to give you a lot of tools for how to make a plan so that you have a reaction set up if you've seen these indicators, right? And so then after they talk a little bit, we're going to go over some physical techniques and get back into that part of the class. So Laura, you're up.
Hello, everyone. So just kind of building on what Jen has been talking about in her introduction, we just want to talk about some ways to prepare yourself mentally, prepare yourself physically for if you are going out to, could be going out to a special event, you could be going out with some friends in the evening, could be going out by yourself. It could just be going out and about and existing in the world. You're going to work, you're going to school. We are not in the middle of COVID lockdowns anymore, thank goodness, so we actually go out and interact with other humans, and that's a really good thing. But how do we think about the fact that these interactions can potentially bring us into contact with situations where we might need to protect ourselves, protect our community, and how can we think about ways to prepare ourselves for that? One of the first ways that you can think about preparing yourself for these kinds of situations is taking a class like this. Congratulations, you're already doing it. Step one, check. You can take our free webinars that we offer. We're offering this. This is a 3-week webinar. We have a number of classes already recorded on our YouTube channel. We have one that we recorded that was specifically around women's safety. I strongly recommend, because we've had some questions about like personal safety devices, like whistles and alarms and things. We have a special mini class that one of our master instructors recorded, Galina Lemke recorded, around personal protection devices. If you don't have time to go away and watch that and then come back, I will give you the short version, which is that flashlights and whistles are good. Other things, say mace, maybe not so much. I've carried mace. The only person I've ever maced is myself. Your mileage may vary. So let's see, what are some other things that we can think about? We can think about if we're going to a new location or a location where maybe we haven't been very often. We're going out to a club, we're going out to a parade, we're going out to a protest. Do a bit of research before you go there. What is the location going to be like? What's the weather going to be like? Is it going to be during the day? Is it going to be during the evening? What is the parking situation? How are you going to get from where you have left your car to where you are meeting this group of people? Are you going to be there with friends? If you are going out on, for example, if you're going out to meet someone, if you're going out on a date, do you have an app like something like Strava on your phone that allows you to turn on location sharing? Can you share your location with a trusted friend? You know, things like that. Other things that you can think about. Think about your footwear. Think about your choices in clothing. I want to be really particular when I say that because I don't want to create any sort of impression that the things that you're wearing or the way that you are presenting yourself in the world are in any way an open door for someone to harass you or to assault you. That is never okay, and that is never your fault. But we can think about things like if you're wearing those really great 6-inch heels, I love them, they're awesome, can you kick them off and run in them? You might have to. We don't like to think about it, but it's true. And so, things like that. What else can we think? What are some other things that we can think about? If you're out at a bar, if you're out somewhere that is serving alcohol, if you're out somewhere that is where alcohol is being consumed, obviously know your own limitations, know your friends' limitations, and be aware of your drink. Be aware of where your drink is, and making sure that someone doesn't have the opportunity to, heaven forbid, slip something into your drink. This is advice that is mostly given to femme-presenting people, but I can think of at least 2 male-presenting friends of mine who have been roofed in social situations. So this is broadly applicable. Your drink is your drink. Your drink never leaves your hand. If you put it down and walk away, I know they're $17 a pop, but order a new one. Let's see, what else do we have? Practicing a story. What do I mean by a story? So let's say you're going out amongst a group of people. Maybe you're going out amongst like people you don't know very well. If you get, if someone comes up to you and starts a dialogue with you and you don't know them, maybe they start asking you questions like, hey, are you here alone? Hey, are you waiting for so-and-so? You know, have a story. I'm meeting a friend. I have my friend who's expecting me. It's not fun to think about because we all want to lead with empathy, but there is a school of thought that I adhere to, which is never admit that you're alone. You know, someone is always waiting for you. Someone is always waiting for that phone call. And frankly, don't even make that a story. Have someone waiting for that phone call. Make sure your friends know where you are, where you're going, when you can be expected home. Practicing situational awareness, taking classes like this, taking classes like our online webinars, coming to a school like Enso Center. We offer self-defense classes in multiple disciplines. All of our classes are free. You should come join us. It would be amazing to see you all here. Reading my teleprompter over here, I'm being, very awesome about it. I think we have covered all of our prepare section, and I am going to hand it off to Jeremiah.
Hi. So I'm here to talk to you today about de-escalation. This is a situation that you already is on your radar as about to somehow go down. Something's going to happen. Hopefully nothing serious, but how can we defuse this situation so it doesn't get more serious? In general, attackers will choose people who are quiet, are separated from the community or their group. So to be a hard target is to be loud, unpredictable, and willing to ask for help. So let's talk about some of these interventions specifically and how you can apply them when a situation becomes a situation. Earlier is always better. Get in there right away. Now, I'm a talker, I'm a teacher, I like to use a lot of humor. I think I'm pretty funny. I'm told that I can be a bit much sometimes. That's great for this situation, right? So I will tell a joke and I will laugh at it, even if it's not that funny. I try not to make it at the other person's expense because we definitely don't want to go towards escalation. But you can be loud. You can be unpredictable. You can just be a mess and stumble around and look like, whoa, what's this person doing? Where are they going with this? Why are they talking so loudly at me? Because I don't know you, buddy, and I don't want you to be around me, but I'm not going to make it that clear. Because me, I'm not the most direct person. This is just my upbringing. So I will be very, very friendly, but I am looking for a situation where maybe someone else could notice that this isn't exactly where I want it to go, and so I'll bring that. If you are out walking alone, things you can do. Turn on your phone. Start talking to somebody. Call up a buddy. Pretend to call a buddy. Put them on speakerphone. Start talking about, oh, I'm over here on Pike and Broadway, and there's nobody out. It's cold out. But there's this person following me. I'm not sure about them. Hey, can you come pick me up? I'll meet you at the corner of such and such. That's a good strategy there. You can randomly yell, hey, what's going on? Right? I love that song. You can do a really large hacky cough. If you I have something in my throat, can you just, and then keep on going. I would say walk in the direction that you're walking. You could suddenly turn around and go the other way, right? And confuse them. Start filming. Bring out that camera. Yeah. Oh yes. Look at such a lovely night. It's not raining for once. Oh look at all of the people. There's no people, just this one. Well, hi. How are you? I'm filming this, by the way. Okay. If you do find other people around you, talk to them. Say, hey, how are you? Let's engage in a conversation. Now there's another person here. This other person is probably going to peel off at some point because you're no longer the target that they want you to be. I go to bars a lot. Not a big secret around here. I was in the service industry for many years. I was on the other side of the bar, and I've seen lots of situations. One thing I like to do when I go out, I introduce myself to the bouncer outside. I introduce myself to the bartender. I engage in a little banter and conversation. That way they remember me. If you're ever in a bar situation and you're alone, not always the best choice, but we don't always make the best choices. Make sure you know who the people that you can go to are, right? One thing you can do if someone is being really skeezy and you don't want them around you anymore, you can go to the bar and you can tell them that you'd like an angel shot. And an angel shot means, hey, this person that I'm with right now is really sketch and I don't want them around me. And so usually the bartenders will understand that's a secret code, particularly for female presenting and people in the community would understand that. So really quick story. I was in the bar once. I was waiting on some friends. I was having a beer alone. Someone comes up and puts their arm around me. And, so there's lots of things that you could do in that situation. Me, defusing, humor. Oh, hi, buddy. I haven't met you before, have I? Do I know you? Hey, I was just walking over to the bar. You want to come with me? Here, look, I'll buy you a shot. And then I go talk to the bartender, and I order a water. And if the person insists, they can get a shot, but I'm not drinking with them. And that's a thing that's happened. And that person did eventually go away, and I continued to talk to the bartender. I think he bought me a drink. That was kind of fun. All right, so we're going to do something with grab releases, right? So if this situation is not getting diffused, I think Jason has some ideas on how to handle that.
Okay, so I'm really excited to be able to share with you guys some of the techniques that we use in an actual self-defense situation. So how do we deal with it when it's gone? We've seen those indicators and we realize something is going wrong a little bit. We do a little preparation before. This one exercise we'll be doing is really nice because it has 3 different levels that it works on. On the one level, it's really good for telling if the danger is really there. It helps you evaluate danger. Then the second one is to deal with the danger. So as someone is attacking you, how you can evade or you can strike. And then also afterwards, it's a great exercise for being healthy and being focused before and after a situation. So this is called side-side circular motion. So we've got some good space. One of the neat things this does is it helps us to evaluate personal space. So you see them all kind of spreading out. Make sure you're not too close to anybody. One hand comes at your center. One hand comes at the center of your back. And we're just going to say, this is my space as I turn. And I can let my body turn. I can scan the room, looking around. Breathing from my center, feeling healthy, focused, and present. Nice. The next thing we're going to do with this is look at it as far as evasion. So if Jeremiah and I are working together and he's coming towards me, I can turn back and forth in order to move through a situation. It can also be used in order to get away from something when someone has grabbed. So we're going to look at our 5 grab releases. On the first one, if I can have you guys be a pair here, and you guys be a pair right here, and if you be my partner. As someone grabs with 2 hands, remember that the rest of your body can move. So just like this circular motion exercise, see where your body can move. Once you've established what's still and what's moving, reach through their hands, and then whole body turns. From here, reach through their hands, whole body turns. And this is a great kind of evaluation too. If someone has kind of grabbed onto you to hold on, and you're kind of coming this way, boom, and then they're just kind of hanging out there, then we can go, okay, everything okay? Everything's okay, good, good. But if it escalates, if they start to become uncomfortable with that, then we can move on to some of the next things that we do. Next one, let's say we've grabbed above. Again, I look, where is my body moving? How does it move? I reach through, whole body motion. From here, I look, where can I move? This is also free to strike if I wanted to strike if I wanted to, even to strike towards the hand. But we reach through, whole body motion. Number 2, So this one, they've grabbed two hands, so I can't reach through. So I love this. It's kind of a side-side circular motion with just your hands. So bring your hand up, and then it goes side-side, like you're doing the side-side circular motion, disengage. In, out, middle. Remember not to tense too much. If I'm here and it's fighting, then it's really hard to move against them. So I want to meet their tension and then relax. Side, side, move. Establish your space. This is still your personal space. Just like Jen talked about, what is our personal space? It's right here. If his hand is out, this is kind of a healthy personal space. It's not that no one will get closer than that. It's that they'll generally acknowledge that personal space when they enter it. So if someone's not acknowledging that personal space as they cross it, that's one of those indicators Jen was talking about. Okay, let's look from here. I did this one in, out, middle as I go here, and he said, oh, I can grab there. So now we want to think that same kind of side-side circular motion with the hand moving this way. So it moves back and forth here. And remember, one of the nice things about side-side circular motion is it's whole body motion. It can't be just your hands. If they've grabbed, we want side, side, whole body. A couple tries. Side, side, whole body. Nice. And you grab me. Side, side, whole body. Side, side, whole body. Good. The next one we'll be working with is cross hand. So now we have cross hand, and again, we have this circular motion. We're going to take the palm and we're going to put it on top of the thumb knuckle. And so we do this just like we were doing side-side circular motion here again, whole body this way. We're also wound up to strike here. We're also wound up to get out of the way. As he's grabbed here, let's say he's punching this way. As this goes this way, and we're in a good position. Cross hand grab, side, side. Nice. Nice. Next one, they've grabbed above. So now, as the person has grabbed here, we're going to have that same feeling of where can your body move? It should be whole body motion. And then from here, this one's going to go down here. The arm is going to be like a rocking chair. So it's not going to bend this way. It's going to bend this way, as if to strike. From here, whole body, forward, as if to strike. Nice. There we go. Let's go over them one more time. Two-hand wrist grab. Number 1A, whole body motion, whole body motion. Switch jobs, whole body motion, whole body motion. 1B, same thing but upside down. From here, whole body motion, through the circle. Whole body motion, through the circle. Two-hand wrist grab. This is number 2. We come up, just like our hands were us. It's going to go back and forth, twist, twist, whole body forward. We're not pulling away. As we grab, in, out, middle. There we go. Number 3, they've grabbed above. This time, instead of turning this way, we're going to turn this way. So from here, back and forth, whole body. From here, back and forth, whole body. Excellent. Cross hand grab. I love this one to start as soon as you think you might be being grabbed. As soon as you think you might be being grabbed, come here. And we're also checking our personal space. There we go. So now let's look at this same motion as it applies to strikes. So when we're striking, we want to use, if we're using an open hand, then we want to go towards areas that's easy to hit. Remember, when you're fight or flight, hits that we tend to lose our small motor skills. If you're doing your regular practice and your meditation, you can get that peak performance and it will do better. Remember, if you've been doing training, trust your training, work with that. But if you don't have a clear idea of what to do, these ones work really well for when a situation escalates and you may not feel as in control as usual. So first one is just the basic palm strike as we come across. Whole body, whole body, whole body, whole body. Let's look at this with a palm with a target. So this time if Jeremiah is holding this one, here with two hands, I want my whole body to come across, come across. Let's go ahead and each person do a couple. So now as we're coming through, and this is just a little bit higher, same position, this time we're going to use the knife edge of our hand. And this is good for having kind of a rotation to sink into a space that might be harder to hit with the whole hand. So a little bit tinier, and it has a little rotation as well as a big rotation. So this one you think, as if you were trying to hear something far away, bring your elbow up, whole body, here, elbow up, whole body, here. Nice. This time, let's say we're kind of confused as we're working and we turn the hand the other way. This is a great strike as well. So this is called ridge hand. And what I like about this one is when it's uncomfortable, you pull in. So you tend to pull through. It works even better. So I have this just a little bit higher. Whole body turns and ridge. Thumb touches the pinky. Nice. So the last one we're going to do for strikes is a palm strike. We'll still have this right out here. And instead of doing a palm strike away from you like this, I like to move in a little bit to the side. And so as I come here, my whole body is going to be turning, push this way, whole body turning, push this way. Palm strike, palm strike. Nice. Let's go ahead and set that aside. So each of these components by themselves doesn't work too well. So we want to combine them. And remember, if I'm doing one strike and it doesn't work, I'm going to continue and can continue through, and we're going to combine it with our loud phrase or yell. So we could have a loud yell, saying stop, even two words like go away. We can do stop, we can do no, we can do go. All of those things are good. Let's combine them with the grab releases just a little bit. So as we go here with your partner, when you have two-hand grab, and we always like to prepare if it doesn't work. So ideally that yell or that statement, stop, go, will work, but it didn't work. So now I have that whole body motion for grab release, and ideally after the grab release they've moved back. But if we've come here, stop, here, and they still haven't, I might move to do one of these strikes to move them and to get away. Remember, your goal is to get to safety. It's not to trade punches with the person. The first strike doesn't work, repeat all three of the different techniques. Let's go a couple times. Number one, A and B.
Stop! Go! Go!
Nice. Let's do number 1B above. From here. No!
Go! Hey!
Let's look at number 2. So this time we come up, side, side, engage, stop, and strike.
Stop! Let go! Get out! Stop!
Nice. And number 3, from above, we're rotating back and forth here. We'll go, ah!
Be gone!
Okay, cross-hand wrist grab. This one's nice because we can actually use the strike maybe beforehand as we come in here, and then the grab release. Or if we've tried the grab release first, grab release didn't work, strike, then grab release, then strike. So we can go back and forth. This time try to do 3 different things.
Hey!
And let's look at number 5. So as it comes from here, this time just really clearly make this one a little bit less intense. And instead what we were going to do is we're going to disappear. So they've grabbed here. We say, hey, and then we're gone.
Hey! No! Hey!
Great work, you guys. So remember, this is not a movie. We're not in John Wick. We're not here to defend or destroy someone else. We're getting to safety where we can be healthy and focused and work towards being able to move on to our next situation. Thank you very much, everybody. Let's go ahead, and I think our next group is Jen.
Hi, thanks, Jason. That was good stuff. Okay, so we're going to do a couple of different scenarios right now. So, and I'm going to have Jeremiah is going to help me out. So we're going to do one scenario where we're in a grocery store, and it's going to be like multiple levels of escalation are going to happen. And then we're going to do a second scenario at a bar. So these are just random places, but just to give you an idea of some different ways that you can try to, in practice, do whatever it is you need to do to stay safe. So I'm pushing my grocery cart, and Jeremiah is going to be maybe making me a little bit uncomfortable with whatever it is he's doing or how he's looking at me or whatever. Stop. Okay. So let's say we try that and it doesn't really work. Go away. Maybe now is when I'm looking for my bystander, right? So I might have a bystander. This is when I can ask for help, right? Or even if I'm not asking for help directly, not doing necessarily my 1, 2, 3, but I can still do the 1, 2, and then again, I'm giving her whatever instruction. Hi, how are you?
Hi,
good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Good, yeah, okay? And I think a lot of times if somebody is kind of doing that and they can see you're feeling uncomfortable, they can respond in just that way that Laura responded. Okay, now let's say I'm here and I'm, putting my stuff, I'm groceries, putting it in my cart. Jeremiah walks up, I don't really notice him. Oh, excuse me. Hi. Okay, we're still escalating this example. Don't touch me. Okay, did you notice I just turned? That was my circular motion, full body turn, my side to side. It was easy, right? Did you see the effect it had? So it's a very effective technique, and if you practice this at home, be careful because you can really throw somebody with it. Okay, so we're gonna continue to escalate this, but we're gonna do it with our bar scene now. So we're gonna turn it over to Laura, and she is gonna run us through that scenario.
Alrighty, so Jeremiah continues to be the perpetrator in this situation. He's such a nice guy, but he just keeps being the perpetrator here. So I'm out at a bar. I'm out dancing. I'm at Neighbors. It's hot as heck. I need a breather. I step outside and I just need to take a breath. The first thing I think about, because I didn't come outside with my friends, is maintaining that situational awareness. Where am I standing? Who is around me? Where are people standing around me? And I happen to notice that, oh, there's this person and but I'm still gonna just kind of stand here and take a breath and no, thank you. And you can see it doesn't have to be big. Jeremiah got further into my personal space than I wanted him to. And you can convey a whole lot of clarity. We talk about clarity being kindness. You can convey a whole lot of clarity with body language, tone of voice, and a facial expression. I have a facial expression that can stop a moving car. Jeremiah has seen it. It's amazing. We're going to escalate this a little bit because, again, we're running a little bit short on time here. We're gonna kind of up the game here, which is to say I've come outside and now I am looking on my phone for my Uber. Go away. I'm not ready for you yet. That works too, though. So I am looking on my phone for my Uber. I have turned around and now I have lost situational awareness. Jeremiah can now walk up behind me and I don't know he's there. Now, we didn't go over elbow strikes today, but all I did was circular motion. And if I don't happen to make contact, great, I keep going. And if I keep going, we can have a little bit of fun. And then we check on our friend Jeremiah, because he really is our friend.
Remember that self-protection is not just what you do during an event. It also includes what you do to prepare and what you do after an event. First thing, get to safety. Once you leave, what would you do? First, check yourself for injuries. Seek medical help if necessary. Reminds me of just recently, I was on my way to a meeting and I was going down some stairs and they were concrete stairs and I fell on the concrete. And immediately I jerked up and tried to get back up and wanted to go to my meeting. And my wife was there and she said, no, you should probably wait a minute and see if you're okay. No, I said, no, I gotta go. We're late for the meeting and we're already late. Let's go. She said, no. I got up and I struggled to my feet. What had happened was the adrenaline had kicked in. And so I was ready to go. I really wasn't ready, but I got up and I struggled off and I went to the meeting and I got there and I sat down and I said, oh God. Susan says, my wife says, we got to go back to the house. So I limped off. I went back to the house. The adrenaline started to wear off. I sat down in my recliner and I looked over at my wife and I said, I think we need to go to the hospital. So we ended up going to the hospital. My grandson drove us. And turns out I had a ruptured rotator cuff. It was a very serious injury. So when this happens to you, be ready for that adrenaline surge. Be ready to get going and get calming. Review what just happened. Record the details of the incident, time, place, witnesses, and the severity of your feelings, very important. Consider reporting to someone you trust that can also be your advocate. Make sure you get to safety first. Connect to the community. Try not to isolate yourself. The community includes helplines, doctors, therapists, supportive family or friends, and possibly law enforcement if you feel that's a good option for you. Engage in whatever wellness practice you've chosen to help you find relaxation once you're safe. Exercise or music are examples. Last week we talked about using a code word or gesture that elicits readiness and relaxation if practiced consistently with breathing or relaxation exercises. My code word is spaghetti. It helps me think clearly and make better decisions. Continue to engage in wellness and self-protection practices that help you stay aware, curious and ready, breathing, moving, and continued learning. Now I'd like to turn things over to Jeremiah for some breathing and relaxation. Thank you.
Best part of the day. So we'll be doing some Tanzhan breathing. Tanzhan or Dentian in Chinese. About 3 finger widths below your belly button and 3 inside. That's where your center is. So we're going to be breathing from there. So we'll put hands here. All right. And nice, good posture. Head as if suspended from a string from above. And we're going to go in and out. Do that 2 more times. In and out. And in and out. And downward. And now up. And one last one here. We're going to go out and in. And out. And in. And one more time. Out. And in. Okay, thank you everybody. Thank you my friends. Thank you for joining us. We hope to see you next week. Follow us on all social medias. Take good care of yourselves. Bye-bye.